Hello and welcome to our Year 6 Virtual Information Evening. Thank you very much for giving up your time to listen to this presentation and to review the other information that's available on the website. We are really disappointed that we can't have you in school so that you can see the building in action and meet our staff and pupils. But hopefully during the course of this presentation and from the other information that's available, you'll be able to make an informed choice and decide whether you think that Cardinal Hume is the right school for your son or daughter. Everything we do is based on our mission statement to develop each member of the school community so that everyone involved can reach their full potential in the light of the teaching of Christ and the values portrayed in the Gospels. These are important words, but it's the work of our excellent students and our excellent staff every day that means we really put our mission statement into action. We are a Catholic school, but Cardinal Hume is not just a school for Catholic children. We have many pupils of other faiths, and indeed many pupils of no faith at all. My key message here is that everybody, regardless of faith, regardless of background, are valued and cared for equally. A question we're often asked is, what do we mean by Catholic ethos? So I think it's worth spending a little bit of time now just talking you through our fundamental principles. Our ethos creates an environment where students strive for excellence. We expect them to strive for excellence in everything they do. That doesn't mean that they have to be the best at everything they do, but they should strive for it, strive for excellence. Every individual in the school is accepted, valued, loved and cared for equally. That's a key part of our ethos here. We want pupils to have the opportunity not just to grow academically, but we want them to grow personally, socially and spiritually. We make great provision for that here. And we expect all pupils to show love, care and respect to each other and to those in need. Ultimately, we try to live out the gospel values in school every day. We want to help foster a strong set of moral principles in our children. I should also mention our school motto, Fide, Labore, Caritate, which simply translates to in faith, hard work and kindness. I'm absolutely convinced that if you visited the school today or indeed any day, you'd see faith in action. You'd see people working hard, trying their best, giving 100%. And you'd see people caring for one another, looking out for one another and showing respect. We try to live out this motto in the work we do every single day. Our strong ethos and high standards of discipline underpin our mission statement. They are the foundations on which this school is built. We are a very strict school and we care for every single person in our community. I think it's important that parents and the young people know exactly what we're about as a school. Our basic principles, our culture and our consistency create high standards and a happy and safe environment. At Cardinal Hume, students cannot refuse to obey a reasonable request or an instruction from a member of staff. It's our number one rule, and if pupils understand this, everything else simply falls into place. We appoint excellent teachers here who build solid relationships, and we really do not tolerate insolence, refusal to cooperate. It stops teachers from getting on with the work they're here to do, and it disturbs the learning of others. I'm sure you'll all agree that this is something we don't need in the school. Teachers don't give unreasonable instructions. They generally make polite, reasonable requests, and pupils, in the vast majority of cases, respond very well. If a student is doing something wrong, they will be instructed to stop. There's no reason in this instance for any student not to comply. Ultimately, we have an environment where all adults in the school are authority figures. Our students know what to expect and respect this culture in the school, which adds to a pleasant, well-disciplined and very happy environment. We have very high standards. The rules of the school are very clear, and by joining the schools we expect pupils to obey them. Disruption and poor behaviour are not tolerated, and we will pick pupils up on low-level disruption. While this may seem strict, trust me when I say it does create an excellent climate for learning where pupils can thrive and be happy. And it's not just behaviour in the school. We give a very clear message that if they're in our uniform, they're representing our school and they're our responsibility. The vast majority of calls into school from members of the public are to commend our pupils, something I'm always very proud of. On those rare occasions when we're made aware of something inappropriate, some conduct that we're not happy with, out of school, we do act upon it, we take it seriously. They're our ambassadors when they're in the local community. Excellent behaviour is very important, but it does have to be supported by excellent attitudes to learning. We expect all pupils to come to school well organised and equipped, ready to learn and get fully engaged in the lessons, because we want them to achieve great things. A key thing that makes working here a pleasure is the way that people treat each other and the way that people speak to each other. And this comes from our insistence on excellent manners and mutual respect. We have simple, traditional values that we instill in the students, like holding doors for other people. Pupils stand and greet adults with good morning or good afternoon if they enter a room. They address and reply to teachers with yes sir or yes miss. We say hello in corridors and we help each other when we can. They are small courtesies which have such a positive impact on the atmosphere in the school. We often talk about focusing on the little things here at Cardinal Hume. Focusing on the little things, that the big things look after themselves. That is, they're far less likely to occur. Things like uniform, footwear, makeup and jewellery. We are very clear about what we expect. And the way that the pupils present themselves here is generally impeccable. And it's because we focus on it all of the time. We have very high standards. We often seem picky about our standards of pupil appearance, but we make no apology for that, because it's part of what we do to make sure that the school is an orderly, productive, professional environment. Mobile phones, the banned. We do know that people own them. We know that the pupils own mobile phones, but if we ever see one, we'll confiscate it. Mobile phones are a distraction in school. There's no place for them and there's no need for them. Insolence and refusal to cooperate, poor manners, cheekiness. I've alluded to these before, but these things have no place in the school and they'll instantly be challenged by staff. Dealing with these sorts of behaviour aren't really what teachers are here for. They're here to focus on teaching your children, and that's why we're so strict on our standards. Staff will occasionally punish pupils, and I would say that this is never personal. It's just part of what we do to correct the young people and keep them on track. And it also helps to just set the standard and the tone of the school. None of what I'm saying here should sound in any way negative or draconian. It's because we set these standards so high that instances of poor behaviour, poor conduct, they're actually rare. And therefore we have this happy, productive environment where the children can flourish. And most importantly, because we pick up on all of these little things, as we might call them, they're far less likely to lead to those big things like serious incidents. We do have serious incidents in the school, but they're rare, and because they're rare, it means that we can deal with them swiftly and effectively. Bullying. We're trying to create a very safe environment, a controlled environment, and because of that, there's far less chance of bullying occurring. But we know that it can happen. We're not naive to that. But what I would say is it's not tolerated, full stop. And when it does happen and we find out about it, we act swiftly. We do not tolerate bullying in this school. We'd love to have you here in school today to see what it's like, to meet you in person. But in the circumstances, this isn't possible. So I'd just like to give you a sense of what you might expect to see in a school day. We'll focus on the importance of starts and ends of lessons. Lessons start formally with pupils standing behind the desks, making sure the uniform is right, making sure they have all their equipment, and ultimately that they're in the right frame of mind for learning. It sets the tone for the lesson, and it enables a very swift start to the activities, the learning activities. Ends of lessons are much the same. They're calm, controlled and disciplined, meaning that pupils can go off to the next lesson in the right frame of mind. Walking around the school, we'd expect to see pupils facing the front, attentive, engaged, totally focused on their work. You'll see lively discussions and practical work in some rooms, and in others you'll see teachers or pupils talking and the rest of the class listening. We make it very clear that if the teacher or another pupil is talking, the rest of the class are silent and attentive. At lunch break and between lessons, we expect people to move around the school sensibly and quietly, remembering it's a professional work environment. We don't allow pushing, shoving, shouting, rowdiness, as it makes an unpleasant environment for everyone. I'm sure this is not the environment you'd want for your son or daughter, but it's up to everyone to uphold these standards. So I hope that's given you a good insight into our culture, ethos and standards, but I would like to move on now to focus on the curriculum, examination performance and also our provision to support the wider development of the young people here. So what do students study at Cardinal Hume? Our curriculum is very broad, balanced and ambitious. All pupils of all abilities have access to the full curriculum when they enter the school. They study the core subjects, which are seen here in red. The subjects in blue are those which contribute to the English Baccalaureate, alongside English, Maths and Science. And those in green are all of the other subjects from art to design, sport, music, computing. And the young people will follow this pathway throughout Key Stage 3, with some very slight specialising taking place during Year 9. In Years 10 and 11, all pupils continue with those core subjects, as well as history or geography. And between 60 and 70% will actually continue with a modern foreign language, French or Spanish. They'll also pick a selection of options to study during Key Stage 4. These include subjects that they may have already studied further down the school, as well as some additional ones such as business studies, health and social care, performing arts, etc. In sixth form, we have a wide range of A-level and technical qualifications, with students maybe studying 3 A-levels, or a technical pathway at level 3, or a combination of both of these things. And we also offer a level 2 qualification in sixth form for those students who are not yet ready for level 3 study. All year groups have IAG, or Information, Advice and Guidance provision, once per week. This is dedicated time where we focus on citizenship, careers, relationship, health and sex education, as well as some extracurricular opportunities. We'll constantly review our offer, with our overall aim being that it's ambitious, engaging and broad, whilst also giving the young people the opportunity to gain excellent qualifications. You'll be well aware that examinations didn't take place in the summer of 2020, but we have a legacy of excellent outcomes over several years. We're always striving to do better and achieve more, but the results achieved by the young people in this school are outstanding. We do our bit with our focus on excellent teaching, our strong systems, robust curriculum as I've mentioned, but the results are down to the efforts of our excellent students. And we're very clear that it is the pupils that have control over their results, not us. We can help them, but they're in control through their work ethic and through their attendance. We do inevitably have a small minority of people every year who underachieve, but they are overwhelmingly those that did not work hard enough or had poor attendance. Overall, our students work hard and do themselves very proud, as you can see from the headline figures here. Examination results and the delivery of the curriculum are of course very important, but we're about much more than this as a school. We offer a whole range of extracurricular opportunities to all pupils to help them to develop outside of the classroom. We have a proud tradition of charitable work in the school, and our students recently raised funds to build a dormitory for a school in Malawi, and some of them got the opportunity to visit the country. We run the Duke of Edinburgh Award, a whole range of outdoor adventure activities, and are proud of our annual school productions. We offer World Challenge every 2 years. We have a strong careers education programme and a total commitment to sport and fitness. We have many successful sports teams in school. There are numerous opportunities to travel abroad. from sports tours to Barcelona, cultural visits to New York, skiing in Norway, visiting Rome, Pompeii, Berlin, the Somme. The opportunities for pupils are endless, and we strongly encourage all of them to get involved as much as they can. At Cardinal Hume, we're about much more than the delivery of the curriculum and the achievement of examination results. We're a forward-thinking school, and we're continually trying to improve what we do, and it's good to see that it's recognised. We're rated outstanding by Ofsted, and we're graded outstanding in our diocesan inspections. And we've been recognised in several dispatches as an example of excellent practice by the Department for Education. We were awarded world-class school status in 2019. We're a successful teaching school, and we're leading edge in computing and modern foreign languages. And we're actually accredited regional hub schools in these two particular subject areas. We have a partnership with 3D Fitness, which gives the students access to excellent sport and fitness facilities throughout the school day. I'd like to spend some time now just going through some of the more practical arrangements in the school, the routines, the systems and the building. The school opened in 2007 and offers a brilliant learning and working environment. We have a large atrium area in the middle of the school where young people can socialise and have the break and lunch. This is surrounded by subject-specific departments with specialist labs, workshops, music practice rooms and ICT suites for those specialist areas, as well as many large and well-equipped standard classrooms. Sports facilities, inside and outside, are excellent, with all-weather pitches, studios, a large sports hall, dance studio, climbing wall and a state-of-the-art fitness suite and gym available. There have been a number of very successful building developments to create additional teaching space and sport facilities, as well as our bespoke sixth form block in recent years. The whole site is designed around pupil safety and protection. Once the pupils enter student entrance on a morning, that door then locks at the end of registration period, and there's no way for pupils to get out unless it's in the event of a fire drill. Likewise, there's no way for the members of the public to get on site apart from through the school's main entrance, which of course is also secured. Inside the school, the public areas are all centralised and in one place in the middle of the school, meaning that staff can be present and looked after your sons and daughters at all times. The outside areas are also very well enclosed and controlled. You can see that the yard is directly outside of the centre of the school. The two other student areas, our all-weather pitches, they're only used if absolutely supervised for pupils to do sporting activities. The other green areas around the site aren't accessible to pupils, so you'd only expect to see the young people on one of the two all-weather pitches, the schoolyard, or in the inside part of the building. It just creates a secure site where all pupils can be looked after. The structure of our school day is very straightforward. For years 7, 8 and 9, they start school at 8:45 for registration and collective worship. They have 2 one-hour lessons, then they have break, then they have another 1-hour lesson, then they have lunch, and then they have 2 one-hour lessons in the afternoon. When they get to year 10, that changes. They have registration, followed by 2 one-hour lessons, then break, followed by 2 one-hour lessons, then their lunch is at a different time, it's 1 hour later than the younger students, and then they finish with a 1-hour lesson at the end of the day. Friday is similar, but does have some differences to the timetable for Mondays to Thursdays. Lessons on a Friday are only 55 minutes long. This allows for an additional lesson into the week, and also it allows for us to offer our IAG provision that I talked about earlier in the afternoon, when we can do careers work, extracurricular, relationships education, so on and so forth. We have a very strong pastoral team and we invest a lot in it, as you can see from the staffing structure on the slide. We have a deputy head and an assistant head teacher who look after the pastoral life of the school. And we also have an additional assistant head who focuses on personal development, which includes transition between Year 6 and Year 7. We have a Director of Welfare and Inclusion, as well as a Special Educational Needs Coordinator. Students are organised into 5 house teams, and each house is led by a head of house and an assistant head of house. All pupils will have their own form tutor, and each form tutor group is part of one of these house teams. To support pupils academically, we also have year progress leaders who look after the progress and development of pupils in a particular year group, and there's a whole team of people that focus on intervention, academic intervention. We have a school social worker, and we have a pastoral and attendance support team, and we work with a whole host of external agencies to give continual and added support to the students in the school. I won't discuss these now, but we have a completely separate team of people that work with the sixth form. I hope this information has been useful to you, and I hope it gives you a sense of what Cardinal Hume's about as a school. I'd suggest you take some time now to have a look at our prospectus, to watch our video, read our admissions code, and look at the other key documents. All of these things can be found in our virtual open evening folder on the school website. I'd look at other parts of the website as well, and if you can, speak to people in the community who know the school, speak to the parents of children that already attend, because it is a very big choice. It's an important choice for parents and carers to make. Having done all of that, it's for you really to decide whether Cardinal Hume is the right place for your son or daughter, and if it is, a reminder that the deadline to the local authority for applications is the 31st of October. If you have any further queries, you can contact us on admissions@cardinalhume.com. Thank you for listening. I know that this is a very hard decision for parents, but I hope you found this virtual open event useful. I hope there's a time in the very near future where we'll make face-to-face. Most of all, I hope you now have the information you need to make an informed choice. Thank you very much.